What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. Okay guys, we're going to be talking about two different things at the moment that I'm going to be showing you. One common question I get like almost all the time, and I haven't had a chance to make a video about it, is which one's better, the Scythe or the Plum sword? Now I'm going to show you guys how the Plum sword works, because a very common question is how does the full bloom effect take into place, right? Now a lot of people understand that you need to dash. But when does the dash actually take into effect? When does the full bloom effect actually happen? So I'm going to show you guys a couple ways to do this. And then we're going to show you guys the difference between the actual Plum sword damage versus the Scythe. Now keep in mind, my Scythe does have an A6. So we're going to do, I believe it's 5% more damage, right? I think so. Oh, sorry, 3% more damage than the Plum. It's not massive amounts. But the one thing a lot of people don't know about the Plum, the Shadow Scythe, and I made a video about this as well too, in a I bet you didn't know video, which is essentially a tips and tricks video, is that in the skill here you can actually hold down the button and do more damage, right? I think I've showed you guys a few of these already that you can do that with. So this one here is going to also be something a lot of people don't know about, and that is how to do the actual skill while holding it down. So I'm going to level these up the same, just so they're the exact same level here, 6 and 6, right? I mean, I can push this even further if I really want to. Let's go 7, and we'll get this one to 7, okay? So I'm going to show you guys the difference between the two of them, and I'm going to kind of explain to you guys how the full bloom effect works, because a lot of people I think are using the amplifying effect but don't understand how the full bloom effect takes into place. So this video might at least enlighten you guys, because again, I get it as a very common question. So maybe this will again help alleviate some of those pressures from you guys to understand how this actually all works together. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in I'm gonna level her up real quick. Give me a sec, guys. Let's get her up. I'll use Emma for this fight, just because, yeah, you know what, Emma's fine. So we're going to use this. We'll go ahead and put in some crit. Again, we'll use Igris, blades, and whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'll use tank there. So we're at 287 versus 178. So clearly we're above the threshold. So in terms of damage here, you're going to see a lot of differences. Okay, so we'll start off with the Plum sword. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick dash, and I'll show you guys the effect that happens when you dash versus doing a full bloom effect. Okay, so watch this. So we'll start off with that one. And I think this might clear up a lot of the confusion people have on how the full bloom effect kicks in. Okay, so here we go. First off, if you see these little rose petals around you, right? Amplifying draw. You see that right there? Right, now that is not the same thing as full bloom effect. Just so you guys are aware, you guys can see in the bottom right, there's a little sheath of a sword. That's actually amplifying draw. That's, again, not the same. Now, to get full bloom effect, what you need to do, I'll show you guys in 1 second here. Let me just dodge this. Is actually be able to dodge and dash at the same time while pressing the skill button. Now watch this. See that? See how full bloom just kicked in? That's how that works, okay? Just so you guys are aware, that's how you activate full bloom. You press dash and the skill at the same time, and we'll 100% activate that skill for you. So I'll do it again, and then we'll restart this, and I'll show you guys the other skill. Now for a Scythe, remember, there is 2 different ways to do this. So I'm going to show you guys the Scythe as well too real quick, okay? So Scythe here, non-holding down. You guys can see, very simply, very short animation, right? Okay, so watch when I hold it down. Now let's do full bloom again for you guys, just so you guys can see. Watch, dash, amplifying, right? No full bloom, right? You guys can see that? Okay, now watch this. 1, 2, let's just let him finish his fireballs up here. Now watch what happens when I dash and press at the same time, right? Full bloom effect right there, right? Okay, so you got to press the skill and dash at the same time to see that. Now, let's take a look at the Scythe when it's held down. Look at the difference in damage. Look at how much more I just did there. 2.6 million. And the animation is much, much longer. So again, just so everyone's on the same page, to get the full bloom effect, you need to be able to dash and press the button at the same time, the skill button. Okay, if you don't do that, you don't get it, right? So you see, you guys just get amplifying draw there. Now, again, same with the Scythe. Just to make it clear, you hold down the button. Yeah, you hold it down here, and you will do the full animation and damage right there. All right? So that is a lot of people's questions regarding those 2 attacks. Now, we're going to actually do a quick little summary in regards to what does more damage. Okay. All right, guys, going in here now, doing full effect on both weapons. Now, we're going to see which one does more damage, and I can tell you right now, the Scythe is actually the better of the 2 weapons for me personally. I don't like the gimmick behind the whole dash and full bloom effect. As nice as it is to have that extra crit damage, I find the Scythe holding down the skill button still does more overall. So you guys will see, I think you guys kind of see this right now coming up. Okay, so let me just show you. So we'll start off with the Scythe first, okay? Here we go. You guys can see all the dark damage and everything. So 1.5, right? That's pretty damn good. Let the head go. And then you guys can see full bloom now, right? Watch. See, 729. So it's almost double the damage with the Scythe, for me personally. And remember, my Scythe is only... They're both level 100 weapons. And my Scythe is only one advancement higher. So it's only doing 3% more damage, right? So overall, like, that's not that much of a difference. But if you look at the damage scale when you're holding down the skill, look at this. 1.89 million, right? So I just want to kind of point this out. A lot of people have been arguing between the two weapons. For me personally, I don't think there's much of a competition in regards to the actual damage, right? So again, I didn't get full bloom there, so that really isn't going to count as a damage right there. But you guys can kind of see the difference right away, though. Even with full bloom in effect, when it was in effect, it just doesn't do as much, right? So let's just here. I'll just do a little bit more here. Okay, watch full bloom, right? 721. So I mean, still, you guys can see it's still half the damage. No matter why, no matter how I cut it here, and no matter how I slice it, no matter how I try to show it, it's just not doing as much damage as the Scythe. So overall, I've been pretty damn impressed with the Scythe. Now I know a lot of people don't like that concept. I don't know why. There seems to be a lot of Scythe haters, but I honestly just can't. You can't. You know, you're proving math here right now. Look at the 3.9 million, 3.9 milli, guys. I think it's pretty obvious which one is the better of the two weapons when it comes down to DPS. Again, they're both dark weapons. They're both level 100. One's a 6, one's a 5. I mean, again, it's not that much of a difference in regards to what one does versus the other, right? So here's full bloom, right? You guys can see here. Now you're doing a lot less damage in regards to physical now at this point. It's just all dark damage coming through. So you guys, now this part's the invincible part. So one sec here. I'm going to have to break this guy quick. I don't know if I can actually. Just in case I can't, I put on, hopefully Emma will get the job done. Perfect. Good job, Emma. There we go. Got it. Okay. Perfect. Done. So this guy's going to blow up, and now he's going to show up here. We can start this over again, okay? Now, this part, I don't know if this is bugged. I don't know if this is part of the game or not, or what the deal is, but for some reason, I'm not getting any more physical damage on this boss anymore. Like, look, it's all just dark damage at this point. I don't know. Again, I don't know what's causing that to happen, but for some reason, it's very random now when it does occur. So I think it's a bug. I'm pretty sure it's a bug, but it's a really annoying one because it reduces the damage on this boss quite a bit. So keep that in mind, guys. If all of a sudden, if you're like, what the hell? Why aren't I doing as much damage? Well, that's probably why. So there's 2.1 million. That was nice. And then if we can get this rolling again, you guys can see here, 3.4, right? Look at the difference. Hopefully this kind of settles it for you guys. I'm hoping to just kind of, like, the whole purpose of all these tests, right, that I do for you guys is really just to show you guys factual numbers, like, and I'm trying to keep things as close as possible. Now remember, going forward, my testing is going to be very different. Like, for example, when I get Cha, I'm going to make sure that I test from A0 all the way to A5 every single step of the way, so everybody gets the most popular and proper data. Free to play, pay to win, it doesn't matter who you are. I want you guys to have all the data in front of you, so you know what to do with them. The only difference here, of course, will be we'll do testing with no gear, and then we can, of course, do testing with gear if we have to. Although I don't think that's going to be necessary because gear is going to be RNG based on what you have. But yeah, overall, guys, I think I've kind of proved it here that the Scythe is a bit better in terms of DPS. I don't know how else to really show it outside of what I've been doing. And if anybody has any different results, I would love to see them. But I mean, I'm doing the full bloom effect whenever it's up, for the most part, right? And even with full bloom effect versus the Scythe being held down, you guys can see the difference in the two. It's a pretty drastic difference in terms of damage. All right, guys, it's Payne. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care.